There are several moments in WoW's history where players might not be particularly pleased with the way the content of the game or story is headed. But one thing I think most of us are able to agree on is the insane amount of detail and precision that they add to each of their opening and in-game cinematics. Through storytelling and soundtrack, Blizz is some of the best in the business when it comes to bringing just the right amount of emotion through the characters. Today, I'd like to count down 10 of my personal favorite World of Warcraft cinematics. There's a mix of death, battle, and all the feels. Make sure you stick around after the commentary to watch them for yourself. Starting off at number 10 is the patch 5.4 Siege of Orgrimmar trailer from the Mists of Pandaria. This cinematic starts with Garrosh Hellscream transporting the heart of Y'Shaarj to the healing pools of Pandaria to unleash the Shah, corrupting the Veil of Eternal Blossoms. He is then confronted by the leader of the Shadowpan, Terran Zu. One of my favorite lines from this trailer is Terran throwing shade towards Garrosh's father, causing Garrosh to fly into a seething fit of rage and go in for the attack. The fight is fantastic, and as Terran gets pummeled off the bridge, you get to see a little bit more of the calm, tranquil nature of the Pandaren. Terran's foot gently touches the water, and he is able to deliver a fierce uppercut to the war chief. Unfortunately, his next attack doesn't work out for him quite so well, and Garrosh is able to dodge and impale the Pandaren on his axe, Gorehowl. He pushes the chest containing the heart into the pool and walks away, successfully corrupting the veil and leaving Terran to his injuries.
It thirsts. Bring it to the pools. Enough! You have run rampant for far too long, Hellscream. But that stops now. Step aside, Pandaren. You confront a force beyond reckoning. Your father dabbled in powers beyond reckoning. Where is he now? Beside the Tauren, trolls, and others. You are nothing like them! They are no longer part of my horde! The world will hear of this. They will come for you. Yes, I'm counting on it. The armies of the world will come for me. And within my fortress, they will face all the terrible creatures I have wrought. The boundless power I have mastered. And one by one, they will fall at my feet. Anyone who would rise against my new horde will be impaled upon the spires of Orgrimmar! You Pandaren tried to bury your hate and your anger. But such power cannot be contained. It must be unleashed! A time will come when you will answer for your crimes. I answer to no one! All who challenge me will burn in the fires of my hatred.
Number 9 is the in-game cinematic of the Battle of Shatra from Warlords of Draenor. After receiving a mortal wound from Blackhand, Vindicator Marad meets his death trying to save Rel and the city of Shatra. Rel decides to take matters into her own hands, and with the help of the orc chieftain Durotan, the two are able to work together to take on the tyrant.
It's over. No one could have survived that.
This vessel is set to blow. We should get to safety.
Bring the cannon around. We'll send both of these ships to the bottom of the sea.
Marad. How?
In the light, we are one. I see now. You never belonged with us, Durotan. Our bond is iron. But you are so easily broken. What do you want, little girl?
Your head.
Cannon is in position. On your command.
Prepare to fire.
Such arrogance to believe that you alone could defeat me.
Together.
Wait! They're alive!
I've got them.
You will all die!
Just you.
Number 8 comes in with the fall of the Lich King. Arthas has fallen and he sees the spirit of his father, asking if it's over. Tyrannus replies that no king rules forever. Arthas passes and Tyrannus then speaks to Tyrion, informing him that without a leader, the Scourge would be uncontrollable. Tyrion then picks up the helm of domination, knowing that someone would need to take on that responsibility. In that moment, Bolvar Fordragon, who everyone believed to be dead due to the blight during the Wrathgate, demanded that Tyrion pass the crown on to him in order to keep the Scourge under control. Bolvar felt that Tyrion had much more to accomplish in this world. He told Tyrion to never tell of the events that transpired and to go back home and declare the Lich King as fallen and that Bolvar died with him.
Father, is it over?
At long last. No king rules forever, my son.
I see. Only darkness before me.
Without its master's command, the restless scourge will become an even greater threat to this world. Control must be maintained. There must always be a Lich King.
The weight of such a burden. It must be mine, for there is no other.
Tyrion! You hold a grim destiny in your hands, brother. But it is not your own.
Bulva! By all that is holy.
The dragon's flame seal my fate. The world of the living can no longer comfort me. Place the crown upon my head, Tyrion. Forevermore, I will be the jailer of the damned.
No, old friend. I cannot.
Do it, Tyrion! You and these brave heroes have your own destinies to fulfill. This last act of service is mine.
You will not be forgotten, brother.
I must be forgotten, Tyrion. If the world is to live free from the tyranny of fear, they must never know what was done here today. Tell them only that the Lich King is dead, and that Bolvar Dragon died with him. Now, go. Leave this place, and never return.
Number 7. Despite the negativity that this expansion received, Warlords of Draenor had some of the most amazing in-game cutscenes and cinematics. The Warlords of Draenor opening cinematic is no exception to this. Garrosh Hellscream, after being defeated and imprisoned in Pandaria and still set on ruling Azeroth, escapes and heads back in time to Draenor. At this point, he is very aware of the turn of events and warns his father Grommash of what enlisting the help of the Burning Legion will cost. We see Gul'dan offering up the blood of Manaroth to Grommash, and now Grom, very aware of what drinking the blood will mean, completely refuses. Manaroth shows up, and again Grom has to fight. He uses the Gorehowl to drive into Manaroth's skull. An explosion is about to ensue, but because Garrosh is aware of the death of his father at this point in history, he jumps in to push him out of the way, saving his life and changing the events that took place.
Drink, Hellscream. Claim your destiny. You will all be conquerors. And what, Gul'dan, must we give in return? Everything. You would reject this gift. And did you bring these mongrels here? Just to watch you die? This was not our destiny. Times change. We will never be slaves! But we will be conquerors.
Number 6. The Battle for Azeroth opening cinematic. I felt like I had to add this one into the mix because I literally kept getting chills throughout it. Even though I am solely Alliance and always will be, that Banshee scream from Sylvanas and her epic For the Horde declaration was just amazing. This of course gets her army hyped up and they start going full throttle into attacking the Alliance. However, Anduin, after seeing his army start to fall, takes a look down at the sword, Charlemagne, that his father had once wielded, and realizing that he is not his father, he starts to walk his true path, casting mass res on all of his fallen people. After his declaration of the Alliance, the look on Sylvanas' face just says it all. She's ready as much as he is.
Ours is a cycle of hatred. Alliances forged and broken. We have paid the price for sharing this world. And we have forgotten what makes us strong.
Battle's ranks! Advance has won! Lordaeron will be ours! My king, we have her cornered.
Keep firing!
Stand as one for the Alliance!
Number 5 is from the Val-Sharrat ending in Legion. As much as I don't love that this happened, I cannot argue that the emotional rawness that Blizzard put into this in-game cinematic cuts you to the core. Ysera, corrupted by the nightmare at the hands of Xavius, has to unfortunately meet her fate at the Temple of Elune in order to be saved. Tyrande and other allies look on as Ysera falls. As she glances up to the sky, Elune reaches down and lifts her spirit up. It is an incredibly emotional experience to witness, even if you haven't been fully invested or know much of the lore in some of these characters throughout WoW's history. Ysera fades into a dragon constellation into the sky, and her body blooms into the tear of Elune. No matter how many times I watch this, I'm shattered. Number 4. Alliance Broken Shore from Legion. Not sure how many of us were prepared for this cinematic. The Horde and Alliance are once again working together to battle the Burning Legion when suddenly the Horde retreats, leaving the Alliance alone to fight. Gen exclaims that he knew he couldn't trust Sylvanas, and King Varian orders for everyone to board the airship to flee. Varian ends up passing Gen the letter that he wrote to his son and jumps off the ship to face the threat, allowing the rest of the Alliance troops to escape. What ensues is Varian showing that he is literally a true king to the end.
Victory is ours! Hold fast! Becator! We finish this now! Call in the gunship!
Way ahead of you, sir. Transangulating our positions right now.
Get! Oh Lord! Push forward! And get Windrunner's archers to clear the skies!
No, she wouldn't.
I knew it! I knew we couldn't trust her! Without the Horde, we'll be overrun! We must retreat!
Get everyone to the gunship.
Everyone, fall back!
Take this to my son.
You will be remembered as the king who sacrificed his life for nothing.
For the Alliance.
Number 3. The World of Warcraft Classic Opening Cinematic. Although I started playing World of Warcraft in the Burning Crusade and didn't end up seeing this cinematic until later, it's a phenomenal work of art that stands out as one of my top favorites for nostalgia. I love how Blizzard introduces all the characters and gets you super hyped up. The scene with the night elf druid running through the forest and then shape-shifting into cat form was beautiful, and there's just something about that Tauren at the top of the hill reaching into his pouch and sprinkling the powder into the wind. There's battle and magic all rolled into one, which is why this one deserves its spot in the top 3.
4 years have passed since the mortal races banded together and stood united against the might of the Burning Legion. Though Azeroth was saved, the tenuous pact between the Horde and the Alliance has all but evaporated. The drums of war thunder once again.
Number 2. Wrathgate from Wrath of the Lich King. As much as I wasn't following the lore extensively during this time, this cutscene was one that stood out to me the most. We have the Horde and Alliance again working together against the Scourge to fight their way towards the fortress. Bolvar Fordragon calls Arthas out and the Wrathgates open to reveal the Lich King. If you haven't seen it, I'll just let you watch the cinematic for yourself so you can see how truly amazing this moment in the expansion was.
Lord Bolvar! Take the light! For Lordaeron! For the Alliance! Back, you mindless wretches! Fight on, brothers!
Rise up, sons of the Horde! Blood and glory await us! Luntargar for the Horde!
I was wondering if you'd show up.
I couldn't let the Alliance have all the fun today.
Arthas! The blood of your father, of your people, demands justice! Come forth, coward, and answer for your crimes!
You speak of justice, of cowardice. I will show you the justice of the grave and the true meaning of fear. Enough talk! Let it be finished!
You will pay for all the lives you've stolen, traitor!
Boldly stated, but there is nothing you can... What?
Did you think we had forgotten? Did you think we had forgiven? Behold now the terrible vengeance of the Forsaken!
Sylvanas.
Death to the Scourge! And death to the living! Now, all can see. This is the hour of the Forsaken.
We're finished. No escape for any of us.
And coming in at number 1, the Wrath of the Lich King opening cinematic. There was absolutely no doubt in my mind while I was compiling this list what was going to be number 1. For me personally, I could think of no other but this cinematic right here. The moment that Arthas draws Frostmourne and that epic slowdown just gives me goosebumps. The raising of Sindragosa, how the music flows together is just one of the most amazing things I have ever seen. The speech by King Menethil brings back such nostalgia for players that experienced the events leading up to this point in Warcraft 3. I remember being so excited for this expansion to come out and making sure that I took a nap the night before just so I could wake up at midnight to play. This is why this cinematic deserves the number 1 spot on my list.
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas. child. I watched with pride as you grew into a weapon of righteousness. Remember, our line has always ruled with wisdom and strength. And I know you will show restraint when exercising your great power. Truest victory, my son, is stirring the hearts of your people. I tell you this, for when my days have come to an end, you shall be king.
And so this concludes the list of my favorite World of Warcraft cinematics. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope this was able to spark some sort of nostalgia for you if you remember watching some of these back in the day. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite World of Warcraft cinematic was. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it and share it with your friends. You guys are awesome, and I will see you in the next video.